From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now, the latest news.
Kylie Conway has the latest news. The top headlines. News you can use.
Please stand by.
Sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Thursday, July 29th. Some showers for your Thursday morning will taper off before some storms make their way to central Indiana for the afternoon. There could be isolated strong to severe storms in both central and southern Indiana. Damaging winds with the possibility of hail and an isolated tornado or two. We'll deal with incredibly high humidity with temperatures reaching the mid-90s as well. All of this is making way, though, for much more comfortable temperatures for your weekend. If you haven't done so, make sure you download the free Wish TV weather app. You can find it in your app store. And today, an announcement from the White House that could affect more than 21,000 workers in Indiana. President Biden will require either a proof of a coronavirus vaccine or regular COVID tests for federal employees. And there could be potential consequences if people don't comply. Now, these are leaked details, not officially confirmed yet, but sources tell the AP that Biden's employee vaccine plan is not a vaccine mandate, but a heavy-handed encouragement and perhaps a model for employers nationwide. All federal employees would be a part of it. They must show proof they've received a coronavirus vaccine or submit to regular testing and strict social distancing, masking, and travel restrictions. Again, those who do not get vaccinated are not at risk of being fired. They just have to follow different rules. That is unlike IU Health and Ascension St. Vincent, who required the vaccine to stay employed. And people are split.
I would rather everybody get vaccinated and do the right thing, and then we can move forward.
I feel like that would infringe on our rights a little bit because it's something that is injected in your body and will affect your health.
This would add to a week of big federal moves against COVID-19. If you remember, Monday, President Biden required vaccines for healthcare workers at the Department of Veterans Affairs. Tuesday, we saw the new mask guidance from the CDC for 75% of the country. Then yesterday, the White House asked all federal agencies to require masks indoors in high transmission areas. As for the employers who have mandated employees to get the vaccine or lose their jobs, sources say the Department of Justice is still weighing the legality there. We know about some Indiana companies, but Google, Facebook, Netflix, Lyft, and Saks Fifth Avenue have all mandated it as well. Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett says current situation supports a recommendation on masks.
But that's not a mandate, and we have not issued a mandate in Indianapolis as of yet.
We spoke to the general manager of the district TAP downtown. He says a mandate would be tough to enforce again.
I hate to see us go backwards just in general. I think we kind of got used to having that more freedom and back to a little bit more of a normal lifestyle.
He says business seemed to pick up once the bar removed its mask up signs. And Pfizer says new testing indicates a third dose of its COVID-19 vaccine strongly boosts protection against the Delta variant. The company says in a small study, a third shot boosted antibody levels by 5 times in people who were 18 to 55 and 11 times in 65 to 85-year-olds. Pfizer says it plans to apply for emergency use authorization for a third shot soon. The Surgeon General says, though, that the information is not yet enough to recommend a booster.
Shot. The decision about boosters will not be made by an individual company. It will be made by the CDC and by the FDA in particular, looking at the whole breadth of data that will come from companies.
Pfizer says there were 23 people in the new study, and it has not yet been peer-reviewed or published. Some Zionsville Community School students will need to mask up when they go back on Tuesday. The school board voted last night to require children under 12 years old to wear a face covering. Dozens of parents crowded in last night's emergency meeting asking the board to make masks optional indoors. They could be seen holding signs that read, "Unmask our kids." The superintendent says, despite Boone County's high vaccination rate, the recommendation is necessary.
My recommendation is motivated by that singular imperative that we get in school and that we are able to stay in school.
With this conflicting data, you can't make a one-size-fits-all decision. If you make the decision to make masks optional, you actually can serve both constituents.
Please follow CDC and Boone County Health Department guidance and ask all students to mask regardless of age or vaccination status.
And the board has not set a date as to when it could vote to continue or end the mask requirement. And the delivery of a petition backing changes that IPS is making. The group Stand for Children says a gathering of parents will hand in 1,200 signatures of support for a report called A Vision for a More Just and Equitable IPS. The report calls for changes to improve school achievement for students of color. Since its release, the IPS board has voted to implement several of the ideas suggested in the report. Suicide and not racial bias motivated the shooter behind one of Indiana's deadliest mass shootings. That is the conclusion of the FBI's investigation into the killings of 8 people at a FedEx facility. 4 of the victims were from the Sikh community. The FBI's final report says the shooter was trying to prove masculinity before killing himself. Police believe that the gunman chose the FedEx site because he'd worked there and knew timing of a shift change.
73% of mass shooters have some kind of connection to the site that they do the mass shooting. And he worked there for several months. He knew the location well. He knew that there would be a large group of people there that he would consider targets.
The FBI says he planned the attack for 9 months and that he acted on his own. Authorities say he considered other locations but are not saying where. And the full Senate will now consider a new $1 trillion infrastructure plan. A 67-32 vote launches discussion on the bipartisan package that a smaller group of Democrats and Republicans have worked together on for years. The bill aims to invest billions in rebuilding the electric grid, modernizing transportation, expanding broadband internet access, and repairing bridges. Top Democrats are touting the bill. Here is Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg.
My goal remains to pass both the bipartisan infrastructure bill and a budget resolution during this work period.
It's got funding to get lead out of the pipes that take drinking water to our kids, funding to get Americans connected to broadband, so many things that are so long overdue.
The bill's success or failure looks likely to hinge on Republican support. Of Indiana senators, Todd Young voted in favor of moving the bill forward to discussion. Mike Braun does not support it. He joined 6 other Republican senators in a joint statement, writing in part, "With growing inflation and many families struggling to financially recover from the events of last year, it is not wise to throw fuel on the fire that is the raging inflation crisis and labor shortage we are seeing across America." Federal prosecutors want Larry Nassar to pay up from prison. They're asking a judge to take as restitution the $2,000 in the prison account of the former USA gymnastics doctor and convicted sex criminal. They want the money to go to Nassar's victims. Prosecutors say Nassar owes his victims tens of thousands of dollars, but has only paid $700. Nassar pleaded guilty to sexual abuse from more than 125 athletes. He's also serving time for child pornography. And star gymnast Simone Biles is reacting to the support she's received since withdrawing from the Olympic all-around competition. She wrote on Twitter, "The outpouring love and support I've received has made me realize I am more than my accomplishments and gymnastics, which I never truly believed before." And as I talked about on the podcast yesterday, Biles says that she is focusing on her mental health. It's not known if she'll participate in the individual Olympic events next week. The United States keeps its strong lead of the overall medal count at the Games. This morning, Team USA has 13 gold, 14 silver, and 10 bronze. That adds up to 37 medals. China is in second place with 29 medals. China set a new world record, winning gold in the women's 4x200 freestyle relay. The country set a record time of 7 minutes, 40 seconds, and 33 milliseconds. Team USA followed close behind with a total time of 7:40:73. China, the U.S., and Australia all finished the competition, beating the previous world record. 2 Indiana University divers are bringing home silver for the United States. Andrew Capabianco and Michael Hickson placed second in the men's synchronized 3-meter springboard. On the schedule today, IU graduate Lily King is back in the pool for the women's 200-meter breaststroke. King won bronze during the women's 100-meter breaststroke on Monday. The National Security Agency is out with a new recommendation to help keep hackers off your smartphone. Officials say it's as simple as turning your phone off and then back on again. Regularly rebooting your phone isn't an end-all solution, but it makes it harder for more costly for hackers to try and access your phone. That can be a deterrent to some hackers. Cell phones are top targets as they hold troves of personal information and data like text messages, contacts, and even location data. Officials recommend restarting your phone at least once a week. People who are diabetic have a new and potentially less expensive treatment. The FDA officially designated the first generic type of insulin. It's called Semglee. This could be a help to some diabetics as insulin prices have been rising steadily due to little competition. The agency says it is a safe and less expensive alternative to treating the disease. Depending on the pharmacy, some Glee injector pens cost about $150 to $190 without insurance for a month's supply. And the Pacers hold the 13th overall pick in tonight's NBA draft. The team has not selected this high in a draft since getting the 11th pick in 2015. Vice President of Player Personnel Ryan Carr says the strategy is the same. And the Pacers have two more selections in the second round, the 54th and the 60th, which is the last pick. And Colts players are heading to the field for practice again this morning. Everyone is weighing in after seeing new quarterback Carson Wentz practice for the first time. First throwing session came in at 90-minute practice yesterday at Grand Park. Our sports team asked him how he thought it went.
So it was a lot of fun out there today. And like I said, early on, I just had to tone it down a little bit. I was a little amped up.
Wentz missed 4 out of his first 5 throws before things started to click for the team. Our Colts insider Zach Kiefer made this observation.
And what stood out to me is this offense is going to look very different, and I think the fans are going to really like what they see. They've got a big arm at quarterback now, and you're going to see him rolling out of the pocket, taking some deep shots. We saw a 40-yarder to T.Y. Hilton today that we didn't see very much of last year in training camp. So Carson Wentz, totally different quarterback.
The last day of camp is scheduled for August 24th. And the team saw a sea of blue in Westfield as fans get to attend training camp this year. Running back Nyheim Hines shows that it's a welcome sight.
Welcome back. We got the crowd behind me. After last year, we didn't think this would ever happen, but we are happy to be back. And, we got some of the best fans here. Colt Nation is behind me, as you guys can see. So, whoa, day one. Let's go, guys.
Today is Youth Sports Day at Colts training camp. The first 200 kids to enter Colts City get a free bandana. Colts City is open from 8 to noon. Practice goes from 10 to 11:30 this morning. It is free, but you do need a ticket that you can get online. Just reserve one. And Wish TV is your home for the Colts on Monday Night Football. The Colts travel to Baltimore on October 11th to face the Ravens. You can watch every play of that game live on Wish TV. Our News 8 team will also have live coverage for you before and after the game on Wish TV. And more police will be on the streets to make sure children are safe when they get on and off school buses. Governor Holcomb says more than 200 police agencies are stepping up patrols starting next week. It's called the Stop Arm Violation Enforcement, or SAVE Blitz. The goal is to stop people who drive dangerously through school zones and around buses. Last spring, police issued more than 5,600 citations and 1,700 warnings. Many of them were for speeding. And staffing shortages are hitting schools. As classes start, many districts say they need more employees. In Carmel, they need about 50 bus drivers and another 15 or so employees in food services. And they're not the only district facing these staffing shortages. Hannah Mordeau reports.
This is something that all school districts across the country are facing.
Gary Clevenger is the Assistant Director of Facilities and Transportation at Carmel Clay Schools.
We could use bus drivers.
Yeah, it's been 20 years since I started driving a bus.
While bus driver shortages have been a growing trend for years, he says it's at its worst now.
This is every year that was just exacerbated by COVID. We already were 30 down. We lost another 20 just not coming back due to the pandemic.
Virus concerns and labor shortages are part of the problem, so schools are getting creative with bus routes, doubling up until more people can be hired.
I could hire 40 drivers today and have every one of them on the road when we start school. If I had 50 drivers, I could have 10 of them on standby. But yeah, we're very short, but we're making it work.
Perry Township says they're making it work too since school started on Monday, but need to hire about 30 drivers. Avon starts this week and is in a similar boat, and so is Wayne Township.
Even in cafeterias nationwide, there is a food service shortage of employees.
Jennifer McFarland is the Director of Food and Nutrition Services and says along with bus drivers, most districts need staff in food services.
So this year we do have double the positions open that we've had in years past. So I think just the volume that we're trying to recruit and onboard is higher than normal.
The roles offer a 180-day schedule, flexible hours with summers off, and benefits. In food services, pay starts at $13.83 in Carmel and goes up to $16 an hour. Bus drivers start at $110.50 a day, but the real reward is the impact you can have on the kids.
You have an opportunity to impact every child in that building.
You're delivering very precious cargo, and so driving the bus is a tool, but your job is nurturing students.
And as Hannah reports, these districts say people can also merge food services and bus driver jobs to make even more money. Anyone interested can apply for jobs and plan to start right away. And today there's a virtual job fair in healthcare. Eskenazi Health is looking for nurses, both those with experience and new graduates. If you're interested, you can talk directly to hiring managers about the different jobs available in different departments. It runs for 2 hours starting at 3 this afternoon. We do have a link to sign up for the event. Just type in wishtv.com on your phone. It's the first story you'll see under the As Seen on Wish TV section. An IT mate is working to get answers for a local mom who says unemployment system problems have left her struggling. IT mate's Jasmine Miner met with a mother who says she cannot find a job that can help her pay for childcare.
Well, the moment single mom of two, Kelly Roos, got out of the car for this interview, she almost immediately broke down in tears, and I could feel just the heaviness, the weight that she's been carrying, trying to fight, getting no answers from the Department of Workforce Development, and now facing increasing prices for daycare.
It didn't take long.
Sorry, I'm trying to keep it together. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
To see the burden she's been carrying.
I just don't see what is so wrong about someone finally feeling like they can breathe again.
She lost her job during the pandemic. The unemployment payments were a breath of fresh air.
People fail to realize that there's a bigger picture than just getting up and going to work. Daycares went up. I mean, before the pandemic, daycare was not really affordable. It was a lot better. Now it's $350 a week for an infant and $250 for school-age kids.
But now it feels more like suffocation. Kelly Roos says her benefits were put on hold for 4 weeks.
I've been applying every day. I go on Indeed. The jobs that are hiring right now are also ones where you have to work 7 days a week, 12-hour shifts.
But as a single mom to a 10-year-old daughter and 5-month-old son, she says that's impossible if you can't afford daycare.
Daycare for my 2 children is $2,400. If you factor in at rent's about $1,000 for, one bedroom alone, so it's like, what do you do?
That doesn't include basic things like formula or diapers. Kelly says she spoke with a DWD investigator 2 weeks ago to talk about her job applications, but since hasn't heard back and has overpayments in the back of her mind.
Send me a bill for this money that I've been getting. I'm already kind of, in the hole. Am I going to be even more in the hole? It's a lot. I haven't really slept much.
Tuesday, I asked Governor Eric Holcomb what he and the state are doing about demands to pay back unemployment checks.
They might not be getting the answer they want. You're correct.
And what are you doing?
You are correct. They might not be getting the answer, but we have to go through these things one by one by one.
Kelly says she just wants someone to care.
I understand when you are in a position of power that you kind of have to remove the emotion from it a little bit, but when do you stop that? I feel like that's not living to me.
Kelly sent me a text just hours after our interview, and she is now being asked to pay back nearly $900 to the DWD. I'm Jasmine Miner for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and don't forget to give us a follow on Facebook.
A local family will find out if a toddler needs surgery for burns suffered at a splash pad. 17-month-old Kybria Maurice and her mom, Austin, were at the new splash pad in Yorktown Monday afternoon. Austin tells us Kybria ran over to the edge of the pad on some manhole covers, and immediately her feet started to burn, and then she put her hands down, which burned as well. The mom thinks it was some sort of chemical burn, but doctors say that they are deep second-degree burns but don't know exactly what caused it. Town officials say that those manhole covers were on top of chlorine and acid tanks, but that they also didn't appear to have any leaks.
We have individuals that are over there and are looking at those areas, twice a day and making sure that everything's right. We'll continue to do that.
The covers tested 140 degrees on Tuesday, about 20 degrees hotter than the concrete. They've since been repainted white to reflect the heat, and doctors are hopeful for the toddler's recovery because they do say that she still has some nerve endings there. She is feeling things. And the city of Indianapolis is restarting its neighborhood cleanup program today. Volunteers will be in the Crown Hill neighborhood. They'll walk through alleys and streets, picking up trash and other debris. The program's been on pause since 2019 because of the pandemic. So if you'd like to volunteer, the group is meeting at New Life Worship at 9 this morning. All cleaning supplies are provided. And also today, final preparations for opening day of the Indiana State Fair. This afternoon, the Indiana Department of Homeland Security will be at the state fairgrounds. The agency says inspectors will look at the amusement rides in the midway to check them for safety. And finally, to some business headlines. Arthur, the longest-running kids animated series in history, is ending on PBS. Arthur was an 8-year-old aardvark who navigated life among family, friends, and school. The show had a knack for featuring characters from different cultures, classes, and family backgrounds. Mattel, the maker of Barbie and Hot Wheels, says higher prices are coming just in time for the holidays. It's raising prices in the second half of the year in the run-up to the holiday shopping season, which is the toy industry's most important sales period of the year. Mattel has moved to turn its toys into full-fledged entertainment brands and now has 13 films in the works with various studio partners, including Barbie, a live-action adventure starring Margot Robbie. Google and Facebook will require vaccinations for employees returning to the office. They are the first tech companies to require vaccinations as a condition for returning. Google noted that it would make exceptions for those who cannot be vaccinated due to medical or other protected reasons. Google will also extend its voluntary work from home policy through October 18th, promising at least 30 days notice before transitioning to full return to office plans. Apple will also require both customers as well as staff members to wear masks in many of its U.S. retail stores starting today, regardless of vaccination status. The move comes after the CDC recommended indoor masking for both fully vaccinated people and kids in places with high COVID-19 transmission rates. Disney also says all of its U.S. theme parks will require masks indoors now. And Live Nation announced it is celebrating the return to live concerts this summer by offering fans $20 all-in tickets to nearly 1,000 shows. The shows locally are at the TCU Amphitheater and the Ruoff Music Center in Noblesville. Artists include Harry Connick Jr., the Black Crowes, and Jason Mraz. You can go to livenation.com to find the tickets there. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
The News 8 Daily 8 is sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast, The News 8 Daily 8 with Kylie Conway. And be sure to discover even more great podcasts now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.